and today we're going to talk about another Riftstone. Sorry about that butchering. Um, we're going for this one, the Akupara. I might be butchering it, so if I did, sorry. I'm just going to call you the Ninja Turtle Guild for the meantime, because you have a turtle, and it's cool. You cool. It's just for an example because hard to pronounce it. So there's a couple of ways, different methods of how to approach this, because we're going this watermill that used to be, and it's a construction or in progress where I'm guessing throughout the years back it had water. Used to be all water, I believe, in this area, but can be wrong. But it looks like a mining area as well, so to each their own on that. So this is the Riftstone that most players or guild or conflict that's gonna partake this waypoint, but there is other waypoints depending on what kind of strategy that you're up against and how big or small of the guild themselves. So let's say this is a big guild, because I don't know, so I'm not going to go through that process, but I maybe not, so I'm not going to touch it for right now. So as you can see, this is the closest point, but people could come from the village. People can come to what's it called, the sandworm lair waypoint, and if you want to be a little cheeky, Moonlight Desert waypoint. But big to differ, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So let's say this guild here, Shadow, and it's gonna battle against Kaupara. I'm still gonna say Ninja Turtles, just because it's hard to pronounce for me. But you could correct me later on the line if you want. But let's say these two guilds are rivals, and they purposely captured this boonstone for a reason. So let's say they're up against this Ninja Turtle guild. Sorry, brain dead. They would use to teleport in this location. So let's say you died, you're coming around here, most likely, or you have choices and you're trying to heal yourself at the meantime, but you're coming towards here. So now you have several options. You have here, ruins, here, here, and here. So even if you want to go a little bit crazy, this is not a bad area to go. And there are some people gets a little crazy and cheeky will land here, the oasis. So enough of that jibber jabber. So how does the process go? Because mostly there's a lot of people spectating, right? So they're gonna be on this campsite area zone, which I don't know if the once you're doing the Riftstone battle, this is a count for you could attack people. A lot of players don't do that, but if you're able to, I would have some people here depending how big is your guild, start wailing on people and have snipers. So people that is a bow and arrow, agile players, so like assassins or magicians doing party tricks. But there will be people in this little hill here. Because since I've been in a couple of guilds already, I'm not gonna name what guilds because I rather keep certain guilds as a surprise. But there are 3 probably you guys are known and aware of that I was in. But regardless of that, I'm a free agent. I could do what I please and be more chaotic and dangerous in the near future while I'm a free agent. And plus, I can just go slide in and get, knock some people out in PvP if I choose to play PvP. But anyways, getting off topic, coming back in topic, this is one of the areas people would probably use of sneaking. And like I said, there will be spectators here and people are calling shots. How to improvise and get to this point here. Okay? So I'm gonna show you areas where areas when people are attacking, so offensive, and I can show areas that you can partake as a defensive. So if you're protecting that Riftstone, I can show you defensive and certain tactics. Not all my tactics and strategies, but a basic awareness. So same goes for people are flanking, attacking, and going from whichever wave possible. I'm a strategist and I'm a critical thinker of tactical wise on, having conversations. It's my weak point because of, there's 2 different mindsets or a lot of different mindsets and, having a conversation with me. For an example, it'll be all of them versus me. For an example, okay, I'm not saying, I'm expressing and using it in an example that there are going to be, let's say, all these people, these monsters, it's anybody. I'm not naming particular guilds. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm saying it in general that, let's say, everyone with different type of guilds can be against me when I express or have a different opinion here and there. But regardless of that, it's not their fault or it's not anyone's fault. I'm not going to judge them for it because in the end of the day, it's a game. So, coming back to this realization of strategy wise, this example, it's going to be how you're going to see it in a different point of view of strategy and focusing on targeting. Because there's a couple ways that you could approach this, since you could see the road splits. So there is 2 points. Regardless of from this point, it's you're not merging. So you're splitting apart in 2 sections. So this does the same thing from this point and that point. So technically, or technologically, there is only 2 points to approach this, but in different ways, in different shapes, and different forms. Because technically, there is no above ground or underground that you could do a sneak attack and approach it in different aspect of things, because this it's not that type of game. You're not gonna air bomb like Call of Duty, for an example, or Battlefield, because you have vehicles and you could approach it in different type of levels, and you know, cutting certain layers down. So at that aspect of train of thinking, for sure there's 3 points that you could get to getting that Riftstone. So from here, where you see the stairs, back stairs, well, the side stairs, there's a back stairs. So 3 points. So like I said, there's 2 ways of approaching this, but yes, there's 3 points, which I'm going to show you, because there's people going to use this method of following the train tracks and then hugging to the perfect moment, or frontal approach of, doesn't matter which side, if it's they're coming from this angle, the midsection, or on the right side. So right, middle, and left. So let's go a certain approach that one of the guilds I've seen done, which it's fine to a certain extent, and how big the guild is. But technically, this approach, the following the train tracks, what people, certain guilds does, like Chaos, for an example, have done this approach, that they go to this rocky hill section. So as you could see, people will have hard time spotting you. This is the point of hugging this hill or rocky mountain, little rocky mountain here, and to go here, because you don't want bombers, or you don't want people to hit you, so you're hugging the wall. That's the point of here, hugging the wall. And there might be areas that you could launch yourself up, where I cannot see right now, because I know there's a point that you're able to get past that. But yeah, so this is where you could be kind of creative and find the solution to get here. This is the back area to get to. That's what some people want to, like, diverse or distraction coming here, to distract the eyes what's happening in front, or so on and so forth. But this strategy I dislike and disagree, because it doesn't really do nothing. It only is doing is, if you don't know how to climb a mountain, it's gonna take you long to get to the point to get up here. That's what I'm saying. But if you practice enough and can do parkour, this is an easy task for you to get to this section or zone area. So since we're here, This is the Riftstone. There is way to defend and attack, but like I said, people will try to come and be sneaky to get back here. But if you are starting and like a battle here, and you want to scout ahead of time schedule, depending on the schedule of the Riftstone battle, people will start trying to come here and disguise themselves as monsters throughout the land, and maybe become like a spider, something small as possible, maybe a snake, or that tree, Groog. But yeah, this would be a great opportunity of like players who want to become be bombers or snipers partake. But let's see if I could get back up. Nope. For some odd reason I can't, because I used to. So they probably extend it. So if you're stuck here, if you're here, you're kind of stuck. But let me get back up there really quick. Doesn't take that much. But sometimes it's a pain in the butt to reach up here. So my best take or strategy, having 4 or 3 people here, because pretty much you're scouting and you're being a spotter for your guild. So maybe 2 in this side, keeping view, and also seeing the offense and the player they're trying to take your Riftstone away. This is a good point of view and partake. If you're able to hold on. If you're able to get up here, oops, and I did it and I just fell. Yep, great. But regardless of that, damn it, I need to turn. Morph sometimes comes in clutch. Damn. It could be my controller, because my controller sucks for some reason. Okay, so yeah, regardless, if you're able to get up there, 2 people should be checking back here, and you're a bomber, so your job is seeing the stairway and from this section here to knock them down and pin them down for they're not getting any further where they should be. And you should be able to have someone to rotate. If you know what a rotation is, so pretty much a tag. So if I'm back here or front and I'm a bomber and I bomb being right behind them, throwing magic or, you know, bow and arrow, or in front of them, it's try to take them out as fast as you can. But if you're able just to take one or none of them, just make them weaker, you're letting the other person know, I'm dead, your turn, tag in. You know, is a group effort. So I wouldn't have people in this area here. In my opinion, I wouldn't. but you can. But why would you risk that if you're right here? Mages or people with bows and arrows would be, this is a good target practice for you guys from the ledge and from here, because easily people can just, you know, become a fake monster or whatnot and come here. So if I'm able to go here easily as Pi, enemies can do the same, especially the knowledge what I'm showing, and enlighten everyone from all servers, not just one server. So yeah, that's one tactics that I've seen people done. And frontal approach, they could be from the camp area or that or the little mountain there. So there might be going from here in midsection, or like they following the train tracks and coming from here. So depending where they want to go, from this side of things or this side, they most likely gonna be here hugging and then trying to knock the opponent from the side. Let me just distinguish these nuisance. Okay, so pretty much you're gonna see that kind of conflict and battle, because the people that is attacking, they have to deal with that. And once they are, it's most likely tank assault. So you're gonna see tankers and maybe DPS. I wouldn't do that as of yet, and I would probably have a tank assault front line with a mage, one or two mages depending how big is your guild. So that's my way of doing it, but it could be the way how whatever you guys are strategize and using whatever tactics and things like that. I'm sorry if I butcher my words, because it does happen every so often. I can't control that. But I do try my best not to, and slow my pacing of talking. But anyways, they would go to front approach, going here, and this side. So whatever people are trying to do here, bombing or having archers, that would be somewhat how they will input or improvise and trying to come to here and try to touch the Riftstone. And also vice versa here, and to reach the goal. So I showed you one way tactic that's like the roundabout or loop-de-loop to get to this point, and the front approach to coming here. So I was a little bit vague on explaining with the tanks and DPS and healer things. I'll explain it a little bit later. Let me get the other process how to get to here. So people gonna choose flanking, so they're gonna go to this approach going on the left. So not that staircase, they would come here. And see, this is a staircase. And sometimes you get stuck, that's fine. You go here snuggling. And let me knock these guys. These are pretty nuisance. So, coming here, and there's 3 ways of approaching side flank on the left side. You could come to the front area, and like I said, you could even go from here, that approach, or sneaking your best here to get to point A to point B and reach the goal, or getting up here. Okay, that's the side approach of 2 different choosing that you could pick your poison. And also, what a lot of people are not aware of, or they may but haven't really thought of, I've done this. I was able to touch Riftstone so many times, is from coming this section here and hugging the wall and do it like a slow process, like an assassin, using the bird or any morph, coming here, and I'm mostly playing the waiting game. And if you're quick enough, use a morph, be as small as possible, and subtle movements, and keep an eye if there is no one up here, because there are certain guilds are not wary or don't really care about this area because they got it down packed supposedly. And since I wasn't a leader or any advisor, things like that, I was able just to stand here and no one wasn't aware, and there was like a couple people here, and I was like, how can I touch this thing without being aware that I have to be an advisor or a leader or something, or owner, to touch this? So it took me a while, and the leader or the owner told me about it. I'm like, oh, did not know, but that is very interesting. So with that as advice, if I was strong enough, I would take the whole squad here. Let's say there was 6 or 10. I would be able to body and nuke each and every one if I was well equipped and well prepared. But sadly, I am free to play, so I have certain struggles and walls that prevent me from going XYZ because I don't play as often. I don't go for 12 hours or 24 hours. I'm a very casual player, and if I need to do something, or if my, family member needs me because of a sickness or illness, whatever it may be, or I have to work on a car, fix certain things, my priority is the real world. Shit happens. It's not your guys' problem or anyone is viewing it's problem. My problem I have to deal with. So it's, it's whatever. It's fine. Everyone has their own struggles. But to keep it more professionally and talking less about, other distractions, it's that, yeah, I would be able to do XYZ if I was, at the point of the 4,000 or 3,000, whatever it is. But sadly, I'm lower. Can't do shit. Barely make a dent on a lot of characters, a lot of players. I'm the weakling. That's fine. doing my best, taking my time to get improve and get further down. Strong improvement. But yeah, so that is other way to get to the back is by doing that curve from here, back way of this mill. And yeah, those are the 3 ways that you can do. That's, a front assault. There is no other way to do offensive strategy wise of coming from. If there is, something that you could attach and jump on, like what I do here. If there's nothing of that around this area, it's pretty much plain and simple, easy and sweet. That point, and front point. So there's no other way to get up besides those 3 points that I have mentioned and showed you guys. If they're gonna flank on the left side, or try to flank in the back, or going in front of approach. So technically, to get up here, it's 2 ways, but there's a split off from the backside from here and here. So we could count these as backside because it's on the left side and you could come from the back. And front approach is pretty much easy and sweet right there. So that's the basic way. So if I have to protect this Riftstone, I would say have archers and magicians in archer in this location, or magician, but I'd say archer, 2 or 1 archers, because you're seeing what's going on here and here. If they're trying to go the loop-de-loop that I have showed you and mentioned, and you could easily become an archer and a bomber and just knock them down here, or have a DPS and they could start wailing DPS AoE, so broad range attacks to destroy, like crossbow user, so like assassin build, waiting and hiding in the corner for the right time to go as you're just throwing arrows, distracting that, and have someone here just start bam 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 knocking them down, but also have assassins that is, crossbows if you have any, and have a frontal assault here. But be advised, like I said, there might be front approach of tanks and DPS, but also people gonna have a button smasher that's or trigger happy that wants to, get things rolling, get things heated, and disrupt chaos. For a offense and a defender, protector of your rift, you shouldn't chase or, going towards them, because since there's going to be tanks, there's going to be DPS, or there's going to be assassins, you have to be careful. Let them come to you and find out a way to break that harmony and that synchronization type of way. If you see healer, what do? Knock them out. And a tank, distract them in certain ways. So mages and rangers, it's like bow users, able to take them out. And if you have an assassin, AoE, few AoEs, take them out. Don't use tank with a tank only if you need to slow the progress down. And if you have a tank DPS that has a lot of health or HP, or evasion is high, use tanks as a bomber shield as well. So mages, magician, things like that. I would stick like 4 or 5 in this zone, depending how big is your guild, and 3 here if we have a bigger guild. Then if you have a small guild, you have to play with your surroundings and figure out how to use the surroundings against players. And keep in mind, there's things that can protect you. I'm not saying what, but use your land as your oyster. Use that as protection and defensive strategy depending on the area of the riftstones. Use it as an advantage and use it as your strength and weaknesses. Till you know what's your weaknesses, use it as your strength. And that's what I recommend in my details of those type of tactics. But how I became a strategist and things like that, Call of Duty. And yeah, I have a great clan leader. She is amazing, and I was her lieutenant, and we were rank 3. And still, I don't gloat as much back then. Back then, yes, but now it's like, it's whatever. It is what it is. It's in the past. But I do carry that pride a little bit. So excuse me if I sound, cocky. It's not my intention, not my fault. But it gets with you have that title in to each their own. Anyways, so yeah, I wouldn't go any near there. I would just stay, like I said, sorry for if there's a little bit lag or struggle. I would just stay around this parts, not touching this zone area, only if you need to. If you see stragglers, that's why you have rangers and magicians or mages or healers or things like that has the staff. Yeah, so I would have some people up here. So yeah, pretty much you want to think of, like I said, oyster. You want to clamp yourself and to a bubble. So you have to restrict yourself on advancing or moving forward if you're protecting, because that's the offense goals is once they reach here, they want you to come to them. They're trying to break order. Do your best not to do that, because person like myself that has tactical and strategize, in their back pocket, I will figure out a way to take you out easy. But since I'm weak, I cannot prove that. But if you've seen my videos, like Call of Duty for an example, go right ahead. I figured out ways to take advantage and I keep pushing. That's the game. Since it's not real life, I could keep on going with my character and pushing and learn from my mistakes. That's my best advice I can give you. Learn from your mistakes and learn from your loss. Winning won't matter. This is my other partake in my way of thinking. Winning is not going to grant you a guaranteed of learning. Your learning will be limited because of your winnings. But if you're a loser and you don't mind losing, you're going to be a winner. You're going to be the underdog in the triple threat. Because as much as you're fighting the person that's winning, you're learning how their tactics are, how they think, and how they do certain things, especially different. Each individual members or different players has different ways of taking XYZ. So you're the person getting beat down, you're figuring out their weaknesses and strength and what part gets them annoyed and they get raged of seeing your face, and till they get tired of it or bored of it, they're gonna try to knock you out, one hit KO. At times it may work if you're in that progress, but there are certain times it would fail once you're learning how to counter. I love my counters. I'm the person who figure out a way and counter your counter, dodging, bobbing, and weaving, anything to progress myself further to take that person out. Because my train of thought of progress, as well as I can be your rival, I will be a revenger, and also I'll take revenge. That is my key, my train of thought of the progress and my background. I will not go to further details, but I like my vengeance, and I will get my vengeance. I will get my revenge in one way or another, shape or form. And in Call of Duty, for aspect, there was this one particular guy. I thought he was a rival, and he was a alright, cool dude. But once I figure out certain tactics, things like that, he exploiting the report button and trying to see me as a cheater. So I used his words against him and made a video, and he wasn't able to do it again. So regardless of that, not to be negative or, put poison or, that nasty feeling in the air. I'm not there to do that. Here just to have fun and create a silver war. And, to give people the opportunity as smaller guilds to be able to get XYZ riftstones or boomstones or whatever, and they could try to improve on that note. So giving an advantage of, the underdog and smaller guilds, medium-sized guilds against bigger guilds. But also not to leave bigger guilds out in the open, because now I exploit or show certain weaknesses and strengths, but also they could, you know, they have the Riftstone or Boost Stones. You should be up for the challenge. So giving a fair shot for everyone. So even if it's we could say I'm unbalancing the game a little bit, but also at the same time everyone has the information, so I'm balancing it in a way. So there it is, the 3 points that I have mentioned. And before I go, how I would approach this, like in the beginning, I would have 4 tanks and 2 mages or healers. That's wand or staff or whatever, and approaching a frontal approach. So since they're going to be a new breath of fresh air of the skill tree, mages and staff user and wand user will be in a really great spot because of how you could rebuild your tree and how you could be maybe a DPS healer or glass cannon healer or a tanky healer, so on and so forth. Could be a wizard Harry or a witch, and it could be whatever it is. Just saying. But not just healers, but a lot of players that I can't wait to partake. But anyways, I would do that with a defensive approach, but have a standby. I would probably have 20 players in front of assault, and it can be more, because I'm thinking of the historic battle strategies, and also sports strategies, how they, especially football, football, that's in Spanish, that everyone goes to FIFA, the World Cup, and also what's it called, gymnastics, the 3 gold rings, the Olympics. Dang, brain fart, but there you go. The Olympics, how I guess in America people call it soccer, which it's not actual soccer, but to each their own. It's whatever. It's football, because everyone uses it in that name throughout the world. But anyways, depending how big is your guild, I would say 30 or 40 front approach max to see how players react. There is a certain battle strategy that you would have tanks in the front line and tanks in midsection and back section. So think of it a caterpillar or um, a shrimp, lobster, whatever, those things. You're trying to approach it in that type of manner that you can protect yourself and get to breaking down the defense walls, so a lot of people will be scattered. So if you're able to pull that off and get the Riftstone at that first time and first get-go, a frontal assault, then once you got the Riftstone, you do the protection strategy in mind, but having um, less up here, because you were a off offensive, you went to defensive, now you have to go offensive, defensive. So you have to bait and switch, and think of it like a hermit crab or a crab, whatever. Yeah, that's a good idea. And use like the eclipse, use the rain, use the wind a certain way and method. Not at the beginning, not towards the end, but you can towards the end. But you have to synchronize of how to use that and how let other guild members that has those three type of powers, the eclipse, the rain or wind, let them know that you want to use it at this amount of time when the timer is this or that. Ooh, it would hit different each time that you're in conflict zones or guild wars or boom wars or riftstone wars. It would be insane and crazy. So I'll leave it at that. And yeah, it's really fun talking about strategy. Like I've said at the beginning, that I would go a little bit more in detail. But when I first made it's to discover um, that side of where the chaos, Saints of Chaos, had their boonstone, shit, Riftstone, sorry, how they got that. And supposedly there's one way. I was skeptical and I knew there is multiple ways, but I wasn't so sure. Till I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna explore certain things, and it was at that same day I was just testing it out. I'm like, I need to get the video going. So this is how it works. Boom, 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 boom. I figure it out. There is multiple ways that you could approach that, not just one way. So I'm gonna keep doing all the, rift stones and exploiting certain areas, and not cheating wise, but exploiting their weaknesses and showing their weaknesses, showing its strength. So how depending how big is your guild, like I can say it again, mention it again, and how small. So like that, any server with any number of guilds, or how big or small, you will have an advantage and disadvantage. Well, there you have it. Sayonara. Peace.